Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. I wanted to dive into how I defend bunch. I've gotten a lot of questions about that lately, and I've been toying around with the coverage for the past couple of weeks, kind of fine tuning it, seeing the different things you can do with it. And I think it's a benefit for your defense because it's an extra thing that you can utilize against bunch. And then after fooling around with it, I come to realize that you can do a lot of different things with it. Okay. So obviously in Madden, if you play quarters coverage against bunch, you will get the box check. Okay. I'm not going to go over what that is. I'm pretty sure most of you know. If you don't, there's videos on it. I can make a video if you like. If you play man coverage, then that is where they play a technique called lock and levels, where the defenders will play at different depths pre-snap. And they do that so, obviously in bunch, there's a lot more potential for routes to intercept. And they're trying to get you to run into each other and get pick routes going. So you kind of help alleviate that if you are at different depths so you guys don't run into each other. So you get that when you play like cover one man against the bunch. And there's another coverage called bingo, I believe. If you want to know how to do that, check out Deuce Close. He has a YouTube channel. I think he went over this last year, where you take the outside corner and you put him in man-to-man on the number 3, and then you have to user that corner. And he goes over it in his video, so definitely go check it out. He has a video on bingo, okay? And today, you guys know I like to look up actual coverages and try to simulate them, and I try to figure out ways to do it in Madden. So, I went to, there's this guy called NFL Honest on Twitter. One of you guys put me on him maybe last year, I think. And he puts out a lot of great material when it comes to plays and all that type of stuff on Twitter. Definitely go check him out. He has a drive where you can check out all different types of playbooks and defensive concepts from actual playbooks from professional teams. And we'll take a look at how some teams deal with bunch here. So as you guys know, man, I try to find like actual coverages and I try to simulate them. So here's one coverage called sort. And obviously sort is something that, they have a defensive play called clip or clipper, and they call it in the huddle. And obviously it's not like how Madden is, where when you are sitting there waiting for your opponent to pick a play, it tells you what formation that they're going to come out in. Obviously in real life, you don't know the formation that they're coming in. You just know their personnel, right? So they come out in their personnel and they give you the defensive play call, and they may call clip or clipper or whatever this is. But in that particular play, it automatically, everyone knows in that defense, hey, we automatically check into sort when they come out in bunch, because we won't know that they'll come out into bunch until they actually line up, right? So this is sort. Obviously, I'm going to try to figure out how to simulate this. This looks like something I can try to simulate with cover 9. So we're going to simulate traffic in today's video. Okay, at least we're going to try to. I started doing this a couple of weeks ago, and I was surprised at how simple it was to simulate it. Okay, I just made one adjustment and it checked into it. I thought it was great. Okay, so basically we're going to man the point man to where we're locked on the point man. And then we're going to have 2 defenders who will play like an in and out coverage on the number 1 and the number 3. Okay, so our corner on the outside is going to have outside leverage on whoever comes outside. And our inside defender is going to have inside leverage on whoever decides to come inside. So basically, this defender will take the first out, but if no one comes out, obviously he takes the second in, and then it's flipped with the inside defender. He will take the first in from these 2 receivers, but if both go out, then he takes the second out. Okay, so how do we simulate this in Madden? Let us take a look. So I play cover 4. You got to have match on, obviously. So my opponent went gun bunch offset, and I was excited because I'm like, hey, I get to try the coverage I've been labbing. And that's all you do. You take that quarter flat defender and you put him in man. And as you see, the safety over the top took the inside route. Okay? And when I labbed this in practice and I tried this in games, I was just in shock at how he actually will take the inside breaking route. Okay, but we have a problem with this. Okay, and I'm pretty sure you may have noticed it in that clip. When we man up this defender, the way he plays man-to-man on the point man is kind of not beneficial to the coverage because he plays with like inside leverage and underneath. So obviously, I'm trying to figure out a way to fix that, right? As you see the safety nailed down on that little spot route, okay? But that point man who's locked into that, I wanted to change that. I wanted to figure out a way to change that, okay? So here I believe I was toying around with it for a while. And again, he still plays with inside leverage underneath. Now that's fine depending on the coverage we play, but it's not fine if, we're not playing a defense that's beneficial for that. So here's the remedy right here. You just play him off. That's it. You back him off and man him up on the point man and watch the drastic difference in how he plays man-to-man coverage on that receiver. When I first tried it, I'm like, wow, wait a minute. It looks like he was trying to take outside leverage as the defender there. Okay, so we'll go to replay really quickly. We're paying attention to the point man. And us as the corner, I read the number 3. If number 3 goes in, then I take the outside guy. We'll go over those rules a little bit later. So you back him up. I tried it again. Just played man. I didn't change the leverage or nothing. Just turn on the man and just back him up. I think this was a different route combination. I'm not sure. No, same route combination, but it's clear. It looks as if he is playing outside leverage on that route. And that is beautiful because we're going to play to our help with that understanding in the way he plays man-to-man coverage there. So with that understanding, what I like to do is I put him off, okay, then I man him up on the point man. I like to bring the safety inside a bit and a little bit down. And now we take this backside safety and put him in a deep middle third, right? So now, yeah, we call cover 4, but we're almost playing like a cover 1 style defense with the traffic check on this side, okay? So our point man is locked on the number 2, and he's going to play with the outside leverage. We are going to use the corner, and we're going to play the first outside route in between from the 1 or the 3, okay? Or the second inside, and then the safety will take the first inside or the second to the outside. Now our backside corner is lock man and our backside quarter flat defender is lock man. It's almost like the Mabel coverage, right? And then we just turn the safety into a deep middle third, and it plays out like a cover 1 man, but we have this traffic check on the bunch side. But it gets better as the video goes on because so here I'll show you some examples of different route combinations and you'll see how it plays out. And it's a really, cool coverage because it's something you can add to the toolbox. So here I set it up again. And you'll get to the point to where you can check into it really quickly, but I'll actually show you how we can get into it even quicker later on in the video. All right, so I'm the corner, I'm reading for the outside breaking route. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but you can take a look at the safety. The safety, there's one rule you got to understand though. If the number 3 hangs like this, then the safety will convert to man-to-man on the number 3 even if he's going out. So we can almost turn that into like a 2-man coverage if we are user in the corner. And I think he does that because if a receiver is doing that, it's probably because he's going to drag inside and we have our 3 rec who's going to take that route anyway, as you see here, okay? So, I mean, that's how I see how it's coded. Like, I go for a defense. I see how Madden has it coded if you maneuver different things. And then you try to find ways to make it work by going with a defender that you have to user to make it work in a way to where everyone's playing to their help, right? So that's how I figured out how to do cover 2 match, by relating to the number 3 with the middle guy. So we're going to take a look and see how this plays this route combination here. And notice how the safety, I mean, it's spot on. He takes the guy that comes inside and whips out, right? So he's definitely locked in as we take the receiver that goes to the out. We're looking at the number 3. Notice how the number 3 takes an outside release and intercepts with the number 1. So we as the corner, we take that corner. So think about who's going to be responsible for what in this. Looking at this, you would think the safety is going to take that deep post route, right? Because we have to take that wheel route. And man, it's money. The safety will indeed, we take that outside wheel, safety hangs in for that deep post pattern, right? And then obviously we have that safety playing deep middle. Now in all of these, I'm showing this with the adjustment with the backside safety as playing deep middle, okay? So, I mean, it plays beautifully, and obviously our point man, we have him off because when we play him off, it seems like he plays outside leverage. When we have him on, pressing the point, it looks like he plays inside leverage. So this is the dagger concept, and again, it plays out the way you think it would on paper, right? Point man takes the point man, the safety takes that inside breaking route, and then we're supposed to drive on that underneath little spot route, right? So again, this is a tool that you can throw in your toolbox. Now, obviously, you want to have different things that you can play against different formations and stuff, but you want to have a reason why. Like, what would this be good enough, good against that box isn't? Stuff like that, right? Slot middle, right? Looking at this, you would think the safety would have to take that deep corner stop route if the rules check out. You know, you play it out, and that's exactly what happens. He takes that post corner route. Okay, so I think Madden is like when you man up somebody inside, the quarter safety will then transition to a way to where he kind of eliminates that point man. He's not even worried about him because he knows he's in man-to-man coverage. So I went into a lot of games and was utilizing this for the past like week and a half. And, you know, here's an example of me getting an interception. My opponent threw it late. He could have ripped it in there early. But again, I was just excited for me to get an interception with that. And I don't think that this would be a coverage you would play against 4 verts. Maybe if I position the safety into a better position. Okay. But again, I'm just showing you how it works. But, you know, I really want to get into, man, it's just so much to talk about when it comes to this. I really want to get into something that I figured out. So as we check here, this is something where you notice the number 3 stays into block and then he goes outside, and see how, again, that number 3, the number 1 stayed at the line to run a drag. So the safety did not take him because the 3 rec would take him. So he's able to stay over the top and look for work. Okay, here's another example of me running the coverage. And then I just showed this because now we know the safety has run fit responsibility, so he can be aggressive in the box even while he's going to look for the first inside, right? Now, when I start messing with the coverage, guys, I try it in game online. I like to try it live and see all the different things that people will throw at it. So here I tried, because I know they would be in a bunch check on the right there. So I tried it and it worked, right? So who was at fault on that play? 100% the corner on the outside, me, right? I was supposed to take the route going to the outside, right? So here's the moment of truth, guys. So obviously, I like to build on stuff, so I'm like, look, I'm going to try to figure out a way to develop a blitz package from this. You know, I want to make, you know, a lot of different exotic looks. So I was labbing it in practice, and I was doing a lot of different things. And obviously, I believe I'm going to make a lot of videos. But here is where I ran into a problem. I'm like, wait a minute. The number 3 went outside at the snap. So I'm like, isn't that my job? But I guess because the game doesn't, you know, code that as intercepting between the 3 and the 1, that the safety still takes the guy from the outside coming in. So it's like the game automatically knows the routes and how it's going to distribute at the end of the play. And I figure that's a big problem because obviously you won't know while we're using the user in the corner, right? And I'm like, well, you got to use the corner for this to work. So anyways, I was labbing, and I think I did something on accident. I was trying to do like a blitz, and I think I forgot to click on the corner on this play. I wonder if I was just fooling around. And obviously I'm going to come with a lot of videos when it comes to different things we can do with this, especially blitz type deals. And I did this, and this is when I noticed something here. I noticed we don't have to use the corner at all. That's like a game changer, right? You can see me pausing here like, wait a minute. Did that really just happen, right? So I think I went with the other controller. I went to like 4 verts, and I wanted to see, and look at that. The corner on the outside, I don't think you have to use that guy. And that gives us a lot of versatility in this coverage. There's so many different things that you can do where you're not forced to user that corner, right? Because I've noticed, that safety on the backside playing a deep middle, he plays it a little too, I would say, passive and over the top. We can actually use the backside safety and play the deep middle a whole lot better. Leveraging routes to the inside. I can go on and on just thinking, off the top of my head. So I tried other route combinations and I'm like, there's just no way that this is going to work every single time. And it makes it easier because you could just man up that guy. You don't even have to click on that guy. I manned them up and now they are in that traffic check, right? So let's see what happens here. Snap the ball. And what do you know, man? They match the routes, right? Now, obviously, our square receiver wasn't manned up because the backside, you see how he's in a reduced split, right? But that's neither here nor there. We're really just looking at the front side. If that guy was split out wide, he would automatically match that route. We can easily man him up on square with the reduced split, but I'm really just paying attention to the front side to seeing how everything kind of distributes, okay? And knowing the rules, that's why when you know the rules, then now we know what we can get away with, who we can blitz, who we can rotate into coverage, and where we can cheat, on and on and on. And I'll give you a preview. Remember, if we back him up, the point man defender, he plays with outside leverage. So that's where I would play like a single high coverage, the coverage I've been showing you, where the backside safety plays a deep middle. So we're like in cover one man or cover three Mabel almost, right? Against a bunch, okay? And then think about this for a second. That's with outside leverage on that corner. But if we play with inside leverage, you would want to play with outside leverage because you would want him to play to his help, and his help would be to the inside. But why would we ever want to play with inside leverage? Well, maybe it's because we are actually bringing pressure, right? So how about, we put together a platform or a palette where, a play where we're actually bringing like a cover zero blitz and we're playing traffic on that side, but we're playing with inside leverage because we are actually bringing pressure, right? There's just so many different things we can do with this. And I think this traffic check allows us to do that. We're not able to do a lot of different things when we are in the box check, because if you think about it, it's 4-on-3, right? And when you're 4-on-3, that kind of limits your versatility in bringing an extra defender at the quarterback, things you can do on the backside, etc., right? So that's it. That's the traffic check. Just throwing it at you. That's another check you can utilize against bunch. And again, I think I'm gonna make a lot more videos, probably getting into actual me using it online. Blitz packages I'm going to try to develop with it, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you start using this and seeing what you can do with it. And I hope you keep coming back, man. Peace.